In this video, we're going to look at how to create a GRV on your online back office. So the first thing that you want to do is just input your password. So in my case, I'll add my password for my back office. So once you're here on this screen, you want to go all the way to the menu icon. So click on that. So before creating a GRV, you need to have two things in place. So meaning you need to have the items created already on the system that you need to receive. So you can do that under the stock section. Then you also need a supplier created on the system. So you need to make sure that that supplier that you want to receive the stuff from is already on the system. So you can make sure by clicking the suppliers, then going on edit. Then here you're going to notice you're going to have a lot of suppliers if you already have, or if you do not have, you can always click the add button and fill in the form. So once we have that in place, for example, this supplier here is the one we are going to use. So we can just go back now to our stock section. So here under stock, then here under stock, you want to go where it says receive stock / GRV. So this is the same thing as GRN as well, in case you call it GRN. So here we can scroll down, we find our supplier that we want to use to receive the stock items. You can always double click on the supplier or click select, it should do the same thing. So here we want to go where it says create GRV, we want to click that. Then now here we just need to add items. So for example, if I want to receive Fanta, for example, if I receive it from this supplier, I can just search for Fanta there. Then I'll have a lot of options depending on which one. So let's say if it's grape Fanta, for example, then I can specify the receiving quantity. So for example, if I'm receiving, let's say 2 cases, each one containing 12. If I'm receiving them as units, I can specify 24 bottles there. Then you can also include the expiry date of the product if that is important to you, so that it helps you track that. Then here, as you can see, this is our previous cost for that item. So in case if that price has changed, we can always come here where it says line cost. So meaning this is the cost for all the 24. So you can get that full total on your invoice. So let's say, for example, this has been increased to, let's say, 200 for the 2 cases. As you can see, our cost price for each unit has gone up by 2.4%. So here it depends also if you want to increase the selling price for that product, you can always do it here while you're receiving, or you can do it from the edit stock screen. So either ways, it will all work just fine. So we've updated our cost price here and our selling price there. We can go ahead and click here where it says add to GRV list. So we can click on that. You will see that item will appear at the bottom here. So if we have other products, for example, let's say Coke, for example. So once we select our item, again, we can specify the same. So let's say, for example, this one was 1 case 12. It is also expiring next month, let's say on the 27th. Then that is our cost price as well. So if the cost price is the same, you can always leave it the way it is. And if you're happy with the selling price, you can always leave it the same, or you can update it as well, depending on your preference. So I'm going to update this to 150, like that. Then now we can click add line. So you just need to continue adding the lines according to the invoice you've received. Then once you're done, you can always put the invoice number on here. So the supply invoice number, we can add it there. Then once we're happy with everything that is here, we can always come here where it says finalize. Then that will finalize this GRV. It should also ask you if you want to print it out. You can always say no, because you can reprint it out at any time under that supplier. Then here, if you've already made the payment for this, if let's say if it was cash on delivery, you can always say yes. Then it will ask you from which account did you use to pay that supplier. So for example, if I say dump your money and then I say make payment here, so it will make that, it will capture that payment under that supplier. So now if we go under our supplier here, edit, and then we scroll all the way down to where we have that supplier, which is this one here. You'll notice we still have zero balance because we've already paid for it. But you'll notice we have that GRV. As you can see, that was the invoice number, this is the GRV, and that was the amount. And if we look under payments, we'll also notice we've got that payment that we made for the GRV. So that's how you would receive stock on the Lytsoft system